J-E-L-L-O. The Jello program, starring Jack Benny with Johnny Green and his orchestra. The orchestra opens the program with Life Begins When You're in Love.
Hey there, I'm Mike Gillett, your host, and this is episode 4 of the Soundscape series of When Radio Ruled. This podcast is a montage of sound bites from old-time radio shows broadcast January 1 to March 4, 1936. Featuring Fred Allen, the 74th Congress of the United States, Gracie Allen, George Burns, King Edward VIII, Jack Benny, Ozzie and Harriet Nelson, Helen Keller, Rudy Vallee, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., and dozens more. This soundscape montage was developed as part of the research phase of the When Radio Ruled podcast about the year 1936. These excerpts are offered without commentary for your entertainment and education. So here are voices from 1936. Voices sadly now silenced. Great performers living again because you're listening now.
That crowd cheered Fred Allen as he heads his weekly parade to the old town hall. Fred and the band are carrying signs with their resolutions spelled out in neon light, and the mighty Allen art players are walking backwards, afraid to face 1936. Let's join the happy throng. Everybody's going.
Happy New Year, Mr. Allen.
Same to you, Mrs. Lucas. Hope you have a perfect 36.
I was a perfect 36, but land sakes, I'm a heap of fat today.
Laugh and grow fatter on the inside, Mrs. Lucas. A song, a joke, some good old hope. I don't know, there's something about radio. It's the new medium of entertainment. Years ago, when there were more theaters and things, people used to go around hating the sight of actors. But today, millions of people are walking around the country hating actors by sound. They don't know even know what the people they hate look like. They have to wait for television to come in.
Our president that we have now, Theodore Delano Roosevelt, will be our next president. You can bet on that.
Well, that's fine. I'm glad to. And I don't have to ask you, of course, who's going to be the next heavyweight champion.
Well, now, I wouldn't be too certain about that.
Oh, yes, we know. That's no secret. Well, thank you. Oh, pardon me.
I'll say, though, that I'm quite sure that Joe Louis.
And I... Well, that doesn't really count. I don't think you need the crystal to see that.
Now you blow through here. The music goes down and around, whoa, and it comes out here. Now you push the first valve down. The music goes down and around, whoa, and it comes out here. Oh, I push the middle valve down. The music goes down and around, below, 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 diddly-ho-ho. Listen to that jazz come out. Then I push the other valve down. The music goes down and around, whoa, and it comes up here. Oh, I push the middle valve down. The music goes down and around, below, 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 diddly-ho-ho. Listen to that jazz come out. Then I push the other valve down. The music goes down and around, whoa, and it comes out here. Where? Here. Yeah.
That was Miss Gertrude Goldie of Patterson. And that concludes tonight's contest, ladies and gentlemen.
Although bereft of some of the drama attending the opening of the 3 earlier Roosevelt sessions of Congress, that is, when New Deal developments were exploding all around us, the session which convened at noon today has both its important phases and its colorful possibilities. Its importance lies in the fact that it will be called upon at once to deal with the soldier bonus legislation, an outline of which was agreed upon and announced by the 3 World War Veterans Associations last night. The Congress, furthermore, will be called upon to enact a new and permanent neutrality policy. The framework of this policy has been laid by administration officials, and it, too, will be embodied in a bill to be introduced in the course of the day. Congress, moreover, will be called upon to appropriate not less than $5.5 billion for the running expenses of the government, for the national defense, and to carry along various emergency projects already authorized. And what is perhaps more important still, and I say it seriously, Congress may be called upon first to pick up and then to patch up the wreckage of many of the New Deal measures, wreckage thrown upon the legislative doorstep when the Supreme Court shall have ruled upon the constitutionality of the AAA, coal control, TVA, cotton control, securities control, regulation of both holding companies and labor disputes, practically the whole of the New Deal program. The fact is, ladies and gentlemen, the shadow of the Supreme Court more completely envelops Congress at this time than at any other within our recollection. The ears of legislators will be trained, I almost said strained, throughout the whole session for the rulings which will come to them from the marble palace of justice on the other side of Capitol Plaza. It is no exaggeration to say that many of the colorful possibilities of the next few months lie in that quarter. Others proceed from the fact that Congress is assembling in an atmosphere surcharged with the sharp and biting partisanship which always asserts itself at the beginning of a presidential campaign. Now, that is one of the reasons why the President's annual message, to be delivered in person at 9 o'clock tonight before a joint session of the House and Senate, has become a matter not only of intense interest, but one of bitter controversy, even before it has been heard. The controversy arises from the fact that the Republican leaders look upon this message, soon to be broadcast to the country, under unusual and almost unprecedented circumstances. They look upon it more as a campaign document than as a report of the chief executive on the State of the Union. Broadly speaking, the administration proposes that the legislative chairman in Congress accept a neutrality measure which makes it mandatory on the part of the president to embargo the export from the United States of arms and munitions to belligerent governments. The measure allows the president discretion in adding to the embargo list such other war-making commodities as oil, copper, and cotton, commodities which he may deem to be advisable under the embargo plan. Also, there will be provisions in the neutrality bill to cover the extension of credits to belligerents, warning traders with nations at war that they will operate at their own risk, and other provisions warning Americans against traveling in war zones or upon the vessels of warring nations.
You know, George, if my brother were as rich as Rockefeller, he'd even be richer than Rockefeller and vice versa.
Well, that's a nice beginning. If your brother were as rich as Rockefeller, he'd even be richer than Rockefeller?
Sure, he'd still be getting his $5 relief money on the side.
Well, which brother is that, sir?
My brother Ike.
Ike?
Yeah, well, we call him Ike for short. His whole name is Hitchhike.
Oh, Hitchhike, That's the fool, the good-looking one,
But when he gets in a car with everybody, he goes 50-50 on expenses.
So your brother goes 50-50 on expenses?
Yeah. The motorist supplies the gas and oil, and my brother supplies the air and water.
Well, that's very considerate of your brother.
Well, I think so. And once upon a time, while my brother was...
Once upon a time?
Yeah, once upon a time. While my brother was hitchhiking, he saw a movie star in an automobile.
A movie star?
Yeah.
Well, what did your brother do?
He stuck out his thumb.
He did. And did the movie star give him a ride?
No, he autographed my brother's thumb.
Nice going. Some fun, eh, Gracie?
Oh, that's very good, George. You ought to be in punctures.
In punctures, eh?
George.
Yes?
What is it? Opportunity of a lifetime.
Opportunity?
Oh, Milton, don't take it. My uncle had the same opportunity, and he's doing a lifetime.
Gracie, quiet with your uncle. What is it, Milton?
Well, James Kling from Paramount is here to look me over.
James Kling?
Yeah, he's a talent scout.
Ah, that's nothing. My daddy's a Boy Scout. He can make a fire with 2 sticks.
Mm. Well, what was that? Makes a fire with 2 sticks, huh?
Please, Gracie, don't mess this up. I may get a contract out of this if I can make an impression.
Well, what?
Here comes Mr. Kling now.
Oh, Mr. Kling, how do you do?
How do you do?
Hello.
Well, as I live and try never to step on spinach, so I won't leave footprints on the sands of time, if it isn't Portland.
Yes, I'm just coming home from the doctor's, so I thought I'd stop in.
Say, your finger's all bandaged. What happened?
I thought it was broken, but the doctor says it's only sprained.
How could you possibly sprain the 3rd finger on your hand?
I was pressing the middle valve down.
Pressing the middle valve down. I guess that's where they got the idea for that song. It goes round and round. Somebody peeked into your head and saw what was going on.
Oh, you can laugh, but I know my B's and C's.
You don't mean your ABCs, do you?
Oh, there aren't any more A's. They're unconstitutional.
Really? Well, the AAA ruling doesn't bother you, does it?
No, but it affects Papa. Last year he got paid to kill our cow. This year he doesn't know what to do.
Well, he doesn't have to be upset. They may save half of the AAA.
Yes, but Papa can't kill half a cow, can he?
Well, don't worry about it. Everything's going to come out all right.
It's too much for me. I don't know what's going on.
Then you've joined the great majority, eh? If you're worried about the future, the best thing to do is to send to your congressman or the nearest fortune teller.
I had my tea leaves read last week. Did you ever have a gypsy look in your teacup?
Only once. She owned the place and bawled me out for using too much sugar.
Gypsies always look tired to me.
Yes, they do. It's the kind of tea gypsies have to read today that makes them always look tired.
You mean they have bags under their eyes all day?
That's it. Give me a good coffee phrenologist any day.
Oh, how can anyone tell your fortune from the mud in a teacup?
In a coffee cup, you mean? It's all right. Never swap drinks in the middle of a script. You know, it's that old thing. Never swap horses in the middle of a scene. Now, do we want to get it straight again?
How can anyone tell your fortune from the mud in a coffee cup?
Oh, boy. The answer will now have to be twice as funny because you've asked the question twice. Well, a coffee phrenologist doesn't wait until your coffee is ground. He feels your beans.
Oh, I get it. You're trying to pull my leg.
No, I'm not. Your stocking must be shrinking.
You all know the reasons which have impelled me to renounce the throne. But I want you to understand that in making up my mind, I did not forget the country or the empire, which, as Prince of Wales and lately as King, I have for 25 years tried to serve. But you must believe me when I tell you that I have found it impossible to carry the heavy burden of responsibility and to discharge my duties as king as I would wish to do without the help and support of the woman I love. And I want you to know that the decision I have made has been mine and mine alone. This was a thing I had to judge entirely for myself. The other person most nearly concerned has tried up to the last to persuade me to take a different course. I have made this the most serious decision of my life, only upon the single thought of what would, in the end, be best for all. This decision has been made less difficult to me by the sure knowledge that my brother, with his long training in the public affairs of this country, and with his fine qualities, will be able to take my place forthwith, without interruption or injury to the life and progress of the empire. And he has one matchless blessing, enjoyed by so many of you and not bestowed on me: a happy home with his wife and children. During these hard days, I have been comforted by Her Majesty, my mother, and by my family. The ministers of the Crown, and in particular Mr. Baldwin, the Prime Minister, have always treated me with full consideration. There has never been any constitutional difference between me and them, and between me and Parliament. Bred in the constitutional tradition by my father, I should never have allowed any such issue to arise. Ever since I was Prince of Wales, and later on, when I occupied the throne, I have been treated with the greatest kindness by all classes of the people, wherever I have lived or journeyed throughout the empire. For that, I am very grateful. I now quit altogether public affairs, and I lay down my burden. It may be some time before I return to my native land, but I shall always follow the fortunes of the British race and empire with profound interest. And if, at any time in the future, I can be found of service to His Majesty in a private station, I shall not fail. And now we all have a new king. I wish him and you, his people, happiness and prosperity with all my heart. God bless you all. God save the King.
Peter Van Steeden and the Ipana Troubadours have just played I've Got My Fingers Crossed.
Detective One Along Khan speaking. You got elephant there?
No, we Republicans lost our elephant last election. They got our goat, too.
What is, before we get started, what is ABC, the ABC Quartet? What does ABC stand for?
It stands for All Brass City.
Oh, All Brass City. I thought it might have been another government project out that I didn't understand about. You know, I heard the snow was so deep up there around 159th Street that some boys made a snowman on the sidewalk there, and one of the put a broom in the snowman's hand, and one of those WPA executives came along and handed the snowman a check yesterday afternoon. He thought he was working on a project up there, just a little confused.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch trouble by the toe. If it hollers, let it go, let it fly away. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, it's saying sweet and low. Hear it anywhere you go, any time of day. Big band rings it, Vallee sings it, Wiseman swings it, even Mr. Crosby bings it. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch trouble by the toe. If it hollers, let it go, let it fly away. Big band rings it, Vallee sings it, Wiseman swings it, even Mr. Crosby bings it. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch trouble by the toe. If it hollers, let it go, let it fly away.
Thank you. That was Miss Lillian Preiser. Thank you very much. And that well, sir, as I live and always try to go to bed with a penny in my hand in case I toss in my sleep, if it isn't Portland.
Yes, I was coming home from knitting class, so I thought I'd stop in.
Knitting, that's quite a popular indoor sport these days, isn't it?
I'll say, a lot of women crochet, but I'd rather knit than crochet any day.
I should think so. Carrying those big mallets around for crochet, it's a nuisance.
You don't crochet with mallets. That's croquet.
No, croquet isn't a game. Croquet is chicken in capsule form.
Oh, I thought a croquette was a woman who flirted.
No, a croquet is a little round thing. If it were made out of beef, it would be a hamburger.
Oh, it's sort of a foul ball.
Aren't we all? But what are you knitting?
That's what I went down to the class to find out.
You're knitting something and you don't even know what it is?
Well, I started out to make a stocking for Papa, and the first thing I knew, it got too long for a stocking.
What are you going to do with it?
If I can buy some curved wool, I'll put corners on it, and it might turn out to be a sweater.
The curved wool, you'll need that, I imagine. Why don't you just give the whole thing up and put the wool back on the sheet?
No, I'm too stubborn. I'm going to keep on knitting and see what happens.
Is that your handiwork there in the bag?
Yes, I'll take it out. Maybe you can tell me what it is.
No, don't bother.
It's no trouble.
Gosh,
Here it is. What is it?
Well, it could be a lot of things. If it had another leg, it might be the bottom part of a union suit for a tall man with bow legs.
Say, that's an idea. Papa could wear a vest with it for the top.
No, on second thought, it's too baggy in the back. It'd look as though he was sitting down all the time.
Gosh, this is a puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah, the best thing to do, I think, is to keep on knitting. That'll either turn out to be a windbreaker for the Graf Zeppelin or a pullover for a giraffe.
Maybe I ought to take up some other hobby.
I don't think so. Say, a nitwit should be good at knitting.
Oh, a nitwit? That's what you say. A lot of people think I'm pretty smart.
What people?
People who don't even know me think so.
Well, that explains it. To know you, Portland, is to wonder.
Oh, I get it. You just wait. Professor Darling!
Oh, Professor, no, Chief, don't bring it.
Don't shout, Forty. I'm jolly well here in the offing. I say what-ho and a raucous pip-pip.
Now, wait a minute, brother. Another pip out of you.
Wrong there. Toodaloo, scat anchors away in a rousing sick transit.
Some stuff, hey, Mr. Allen?
Listen, Portland, you take this leaping pedant back to Mr. Ripley and apologize.
But this is Professor Dabney, Mr. Allen, the English slang authority.
I don't know any English slang. Whatever I call him, he'll have to translate for himself.
I'm in America making a study of your quaint vernacular.
Good. Here's where you get acquainted with the cold shoulder.
Ah, the frosted clavicle.
Mr. Allen means he'll give you the air, Professor.
Give me the air? How unique. Fancy blowing on me from way over there.
I'll make it if I have to take 2 breaths.
What sort of slang do you specialize in, Professor?
Oh, assorted lingo. I admire your restaurant banter. I stopped at one of your heated canine nooks recently.
You mean a hot dog stand, Professor?
Oh, bother. Hot dog, sweltering puppy. What's the difference if you've brought bicarbonates?
What happened?
Well, I ordered the #1 luncheon, and the menial shouted to the chef, 2 dogs in the Excelsior. Ha, ha, ha! Fancy digesting 2 spaniels in the straw.
That was Frankfurt's and sauerkraut, Professor.
Oh, you don't say. How devastating.
It's too bad you didn't order dropped cyanide on rat biscuits.
Cyanide wouldn't be so hotsy-totsy, would it, Professor?
Oh, hotsy-totsy. Hotsy meaning warm. Totsy meaning child. Are you conveying to me that the baby is overheated?
Listen, super stupid. Has anyone ever told you that you're dead from the neck up?
Oh, tush and piffle. How could I possibly be defunct in isolated sections?
Well, it could happen.
You can't prove it by me.
But I'm very much alive, haven't you noticed?
Why don't you go lay an egg?
Oh, I say, I'd love to oblige, but one can't attempt the gruesome, you know.
That's only an expression, Professor. It's like pulling a bloomer.
Oh, I say. Fancy intimating that one would tug an unmentionable.
You're tugging an unmentionable just staying around here.
I'm afraid I've a lot to learn about your Yankee patois.
Why don't you go into pool table retirement? Wave goodbye to the universe, and crawl in behind the nearest 8-ball.
Do you know what that means, Professor?
Definitely. I was told to secrete myself in the shade of the 8-ball recently, and I went to a pool haunt for that specific purpose.
Did you have to get in line?
Oh, no. No, after I had climbed on the baize, I saw my mistake. There was no 8-ball. I'd climbed on a billiard table.
It's lucky you kept your hat on. Somebody might have played your head in the corner pocket.
Ha, ha, ha! Capital, Forty.
Listen, Professor, mutual fatigue is bound to set in unless you and I come to a parting of the ways. Now, shake a leg.
And that isn't slang, Professor. It means we'd better go.
But why should I shake my leg when it isn't even dusty?
Portland will explain it to you on the way out.
Over the river, Allen.
Stop in the middle, Professor. So long, Portland.
Tally-ho!
Don't pinch me, Corporal.
Will I let him go, Corporal?
Only on one condition.
I'll do anything.
All right. You come back next week, Gaspard, and tell this tragic story to my radio audience.
I will, absolutely.
Okay, fine bum. You can go out through the studio, this door here.
Take the stand, Miss Blake. You were charged with a very serious neglect. You were charged with neglecting your teeth. As her lawyer, I object. You're right. Everyone objects to neglected teeth.
I still object. Miss Blake doesn't neglect her teeth. She brushes them thoroughly, every day.
But, my dear sir, that isn't enough. It's a well-known fact that teeth are seldom white and sparkling if the gums are soft and tender. And most of the creamy, well-cooked foods we eat nowadays are too soft to give our gums the exercise and stimulation they need.
I object.
You object to what?
You're putting me in a spot like this. Now I don't know what to say.
Then just say iPana with massage. Because if anyone will just massage a little iPana toothpaste into their gums every time they brush their teeth with it, it will give their gums the toning and stimulation they've got to have. That's what iPana was made for, as well as to clean and whiten your teeth to a new and lovelier brilliance. So no one need suffer the trial of pink toothbrush, that warning sign of soft, tender gums, if they'll just give iPana a trial.
What about the sentence, Your Honor?
It will be a very short one, just 7 words. Remember iPana, for the smile of beauty.
What are you going to play on the zither, Miss Wilcombe?
Red sails in the sunset.
Red sails in the sunset. Red sails, sir. Red sail remind me of communist bargains. Well, you go right ahead. Thank you. So now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Anna Paul from Brooklyn. Is that right, Miss Paul?
Yes, sir.
Were you born in Brooklyn?
No, I was born in Russia.
In Russia, really?
Yes.
How old were you when you first came to this country?
10.
10 years old? In other words, you had completed 2 5-year plans before you left. Thank you. This is Fred Allen saying good night, ladies and gentlemen, and inviting you to another hour of smiles next Wednesday evening at the Old Town Hall. Portland, the Mighty Allen Art Players, Peter Van Steeden, the Ipana Troubadours, the Town Hall Quartet, and another group of high-test amateurs. We'll all be looking for you, so don't forget, this is Fred Allen saying good night.
How's Otto? He did? Oh, isn't that wonderful?
What is it, Mary?
Otto went to the Olympic Games in Germany.
Yeah, how did he make out?
He won the 100-yard dash hunt.
Quite a long dog.
Well, Ma, we'll see you tomorrow. What's that?
What are you laughing at, Mary?
Mama said goodbye.
And we'll be with you again
Pardon me, Jack. Here's a telegram that just came for you. Do you mind if I read it?
No, Don. Go right ahead.
It says, Dear Jack, the Jell-O family of all 6 flavors extends to you their heartiest congratulations on the splendid showing you made in the National Radio Editors Poll conducted annually by the New York World Telegram. Stop. For the 2nd consecutive year, our Jell-O program was voted the favorite of all the shows on the air. And for the 3rd consecutive year, you were selected America's outstanding radio comedian. Jell-O shares your justified pride in this fine accomplishment. Signed, Clarence Francis, President General Foods, makers of Jell-O.
Jack Benny, first in war, first in peace, and second in the Crosley Report.
I hope.
Accident policy. Cash in while you're unconscious.
Yes, you never can tell when an accident will happen, Mr. Allen.
Especially for a radio comedian. Telling them stale jokes, you're apt to get shot any minute.
You ain't firing that gun till we find a bowl for me.
Don't worry, Mama. I'm nasty, but I'm careful.
Who's there?
Ladies and gentlemen, Town Hall tonight continues immediately after your station announcement. Since Washington's birthday is only a few days off, the truth is again coming into its own. And the truth is, we bring you these programs to acquaint you with the real benefits of Ipana toothpaste and Sal Hepatica. So if you enjoy these Wednesdays with Fred Allen, won't you in return remember the two products that make your enjoyment possible? Ipana for the smile of beauty, Sal Hepatica for the smile of health. Ipana, Sal Hepatica.
Fred Allen saying good night, ladies and gentlemen, and inviting you to another hour of smiles next Wednesday evening at the Old Town Hall. And good news, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Benny and Mary Livingston will be our guest stars at the Town Hall next Wednesday evening, so don't forget, you're all invited. Good night.
And now for our play in two scenes, The Eternal Triangle. First, the year 1936. Curtain. Music, John. Well, darling, at last we own our own home. It cost me every cent I had, but it's worth it. Do you like it?
Yes, but I wanted a diamond ring.
Oh, I knew you'd like it. Look at those marble statues in the hallway, those beautiful paintings on the wall, and closets big enough to hide 3 salesmen.
It's lovely, dear.
But, darling, I have bad news for you.
What is it?
I must leave at once for Pittsburgh on business.
No.
Yes. Don't cry, dear. If you're going to take it to heart, I won't go.
Pittsburgh? Oh, dearest, must you go?
Yes, darling, I must catch the 8:15 train. Pack my bag.
There you are.
That was quick. But before I go, I want you to promise me that you won't die of loneliness.
I'll bet you 8 to 5 I won't.
Well, goodbye, sweet. And I want you to know that while I'm away, I'll always...
Goodbye. Moon over Miami. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, Lena. Yes, ma'am. Fix me a horse's neck, and remember, Mum's the word around here. With me, ma'am, it's in one ear and don't come out. Who's there?
It's me, Kenny. Has he gone?
Yes. Come in, lover.
Oh, gee, it's a thrill.
I'm glad you're here, you great big playboy.
Sweetheart, I can hardly wait to see you. How long will your husband be gone?
A week.
Oh, then I can sit down.
Come here. Come here, my sweet.
Who's that?
I don't know. You better hide.
Where will I go?
Get over there by those statues. Stand still and look like George Washington.
All right.
If it's my husband, you better cross the Delaware. Come in.
Darling, I forgot to put my shoes on. It's snowing again.
Here they are.
Thanks, dear. And you know, I forgot something else.
What?
I forgot to kiss you. Hurry, I must catch my train.
All right.
Who's that?
I don't know. You better hide.
Hide, I'm your husband.
Oh, yes. Well, hurry or you'll miss your train. You better sneak out the back door.
Goodbye, dear. And don't be lonesome.
Come in.
Has he gone?
Who, my husband or Kenny?
What?
I mean, he's gone to Pittsburgh on business.
Then, dearest, I can tell you of my love. Are we alone?
Well, practically.
I've walked through slush and snow to get here. Tell me, baby, whose little blue eyes are those?
Your sweetheart.
And whose ruby lips are those?
Yours, dearest.
And whose little nose is that?
Yours, darling.
Gee, I hope we don't ask for these statues. Who's that?
Just the canary. You should hear him sing.
There's someone at the door.
You better hide, quick.
Where'll I go?
Get behind that picture of Christopher Columbus. Come in.
Has he gone?
Yes, Jack went to Pittsburgh, Kenny went to Washington, and Green went to Columbus.
Are we alone?
You should live so.
Then let me tell you of Jell-O with its 6 delicious flavors: strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime.
You got me, big boy.
Who's that?
He must be my husband. He missed the train for Pittsburgh.
Good heavens, where will I hide?
There's no more room. I'm getting out of here.
So am I.
So am I.
Wait for me. Who's there, Phil?
It's me, Lena. It's me, Lena. They think I went to Pittsburgh. Are they gone?
Yeah, sure. Come on in.
Are we alone?
Sure.
Lena, my darling.
Jack, mein Pumpernickel.
And now we will present the same scene played by the same Jell-O cast in 1986. 50 years later, we hope. Curtain. Music, John.
Well, darling, at last we own our own shack. It broke me, but it's ours.
You better get the roof fixed before we drown.
Listen, Battle-Axe. Do you still love me like you used to?
Yeah, like you used to.
Well, I have bad news for you. I got to go to Pittsburgh on business.
Well, go on. Here's your hat and crutch.
You're not going to be lonesome, are you?
I'll give you 3 to 1 this time.
Well, goodbye.
Lena, one sidecar and make it strong. Yeah, I put it right over here. Who's there?
Kenny Baker. Has he gone?
Yes, come in, Tut.
Hello, sweetie pie.
Sit down, Kenny, and have a glass of water.
Gee, it's a thrill.
You love me as much as you used to?
Do I? You're like bended me eye. Ooh, my rheumatism. Who's that?
My husband. He missed his train. You better hide.
Where?
Up in the attic.
You better hide. I don't think I can make it.
All right, I'll go. But you better be careful.
Come in. Well, my darling, I missed the 8:15 for Pittsburgh. Oh, yeah? Yeah, what are you doing with my pants on? I'm not your wife. I'm Kenny Baker. Kenny Baker?
Gosh, will I talk like that 50 years from now?
Quiet. What are you doing here? I'm in love with your wife. In love with my wife? How long has this been going on? For 50 years? And the joke's on me. Which one of us ought to hide this time? I will. I think it's the landlord. Guess I'll get behind that statue of Mahatma Gandhi. You don't have to. You look like him. Well, might as well answer it. Come in. Pardon me, Mr. Benny. What time is it? I told you 50 years ago it was 5 minutes after 7. Why do you keep asking that? I'm waiting for the major booth to win. All right. All right. Great job.
Van connoisseurs, Don't count your kisses before you're kissed. I'm just the party who may resist.
Sounds like I'm stolen, but I haven't fallen as yet. Now if you're looking for my consent, I'll need a lot of encouragement. Wait for the question, for you know the answer you'll get. Now I'm in favor of the flavor of the gum you chew. I'm simply mad about the bad about the good in you. But don't count your kisses before you're kissed. Don't count your kisses before you're kissed.
The title to this is Don't Count Your Kisses Before You're Kissed.
That's it. Go ahead and spoil my song. You wait, I'll get even. You'll be sorry, too.
Well, will you always be a sister?
You wouldn't fool me, mister.
Not much.
You can say that again. Now, if you're looking for my consent, I'll need a lot of encouragement.
Suppose I brought you some flowers.
I'd probably die from the shock.
That's it. Go ahead and tear me down. You know, I can see at a glance that my considerate treatment of you is completely misunderstood.
Oh, you treat me all right, but not often enough, and furthermore, not too good.
Ouch.
But don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Closing the door to my heart is latched. The answer to this is don't count your kisses before you're kissed.
We present now one who is in many respects the most remarkable woman of our time, Miss Helen Keller. Deprived of sight, speech, and hearing since early babyhood, her life has been a series of dramatic triumphs over seemingly insurmountable obstacles. She has learned to talk, a superhuman achievement for a person who can neither see nor hear. She has graduated from the regular course of Radcliffe College, cum laude. She has raised more than $1 million to finance the American Foundation for the Blind, bringing joy and happiness to countless thousands. Miss Keller's lifelong companion and teacher, Anne Sullivan Macy, had planned to be here also tonight, but illness keeps her at home. We send her our best wishes for a speedy recovery. In her place, Miss Keller's secretary, Miss Polly Thompson, will assist us. Before I introduce Miss Keller herself, Miss Thompson will tell us something about Helen's early years. Miss Thompson, how could Mrs. Macy begin to communicate with Helen as a child?
That beginning, Mr. Vallee, was one of the most remarkable things in the history of education. You have seen deaf and dumb people talk to each other with their fingers?
Yes, but Helen was blind. She couldn't see the manual alphabet. And, of course, she couldn't hear it.
That's true. So teacher taught her to feel the alphabet. She placed Helen's doll in one of her hands. Then she made the signs of the letters D, O, L, L over and over again, with her fingers resting on the inside of Helen's other hand.
And Helen learned what those signs meant?
She soon learned that when she made those same signs in teacher's hand, she got her doll. And she learned other words the same way, particularly things she liked to eat. But even so, Helen didn't realize yet that everything has a name.
That was the next step?
Yes. Helen had already learned that when she formed the signs for W-A-T-E-R, she got a cup of water to drink. But she didn't know which was cup and which was water until one day, out in the yard, teacher held her hand under the water from the pump and spelled W-A-T-E-R into the other hand. Then suddenly dawned on Helen that everything has a name, and she insisted on learning the name of everything she touched all the way back to the house.
And then?
From then on, teacher says, Helen's education was very much the same as any child's, only she learned through her hand instead of through her eyes and ears.
And when did she learn to talk?
She declared her intention to learn to talk when she was 11, only 3 years after her education had begun. Teacher explained how impossible this was, but Helen went right ahead and learned, though it took her many years.
Miss Keller has a particular purpose in talking to the radio audience tonight, I believe.
Yes, the Better Vision Institute, a foundation in which she is very much interested, is cooperating with eyesight specialists for a national effort along educational lines. Miss Keller is anxious that everyone should know about Save Your Vision Week and the work of the Institute.
And we are very happy, Miss Thompson, to be of any assistance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask the courtesy of your very close attention as we present a very great lady, Miss Helen Keller. Miss Keller, I shall ask you a few questions, and Miss Thompson will transmit them to you. Tell me, Miss Keller, I know you will realize the question isn't as impertinent as it may sound. Are you happy?
Yes, I'm happy. Happiness comes from within. I have courage and faith. I am happy.
If you could have one wish granted, what would it be?
I would wish for light in every eye and in every mind.
Probably more people are listening to your voice now, Miss Keller, than ever before. Is there anything you wish to say to them?
Yes. I hope that everyone listening today will help the Better Vision Institute in its effort to conserve eyesight. Be a friend to those who will never see the light of day. Be good to them always. There is no lovelier way to thank God for your sight than by giving a helping hand to someone in the dark.
Miss Keller, we think you are one of the finest, grandest women in the world. We thank you for appearing on our broadcast.
Thank you, Mr. Vallee. Good night.
Good night.
Far into the night, deep in my loneliness, shadows of the night bring dreams of you. Far into the night, I see your loveliness, though you're out of sight, you're near to as through a veil of heavenly blue, I seem to see a vision of you. I hear a call, I listen again. Was it the wind or can it be you? Far into the night, though dreams are all in vain. Far into the night, you're mine again.
I want you to know that my paper will back, will you hear me? Get ready, boys. Will back and sanction Rudy Vallee for president. See that? He's sure of that many votes. He'll get those or else. He'll do his numbers with a guitar. I don't think that wouldn't be all right about Rudy. Rudy's got some great ideas, particularly about saving. And he's a cute fella. I'll tell you a nice thing about him. It would be a nice thing about him because, when you're paying your income tax, see, when you get that jolt, Rudy could bring the band around. They'd play for you while you were paying it out. Wouldn't hurt as much. And then when the nations the foreign nations would come over for a touch, Rudy could sing them 2 hot choruses of hi-ho, every second, yes, that thing, and he'd take their mind right off of it.
Ready for for your class in arithmetic. Gotta try to pass in arithmetic.
Anyone can do it, there's nothing to it, and you'll add it to your dancing menu.
It drives you crazy, arithmetic. Do it kind of lazy, arithmetic.
It's a bit of trucking, you raise your shoulder and you strut, you dip, you glide, and then you walk a little bit. Talk a little bit. Talk of love and romance.
But if by chance you think of it, then
everybody's doing it, arithmetic.
There is something new in arithmetic.
Every little co-ed is flipping a hip with her bow.
And oh, it's so delightful, say professor. Yes, sir, gotta do that arithmetic. In every fraternity and sorority, you'll discover the great majority are rehearsing to do the new collegiate rhythm.
They say that it's sensational, terrific, and educational. Bands will soon be boom boom in it. It's got that zoom zoom in it, oh, and you can learn it so easily.
Have the bass keep a steady beat. Add a tricky rhythm to tickle your feet. It's a bit of truckin', you raise your shoulder and you strut, you dip, you glide, and then you walk a little bit. Talk a little bit. Talk of love and romance. Then as you walk and talk a bit, maybe the key will change a bit. And if by chance you think of it, then and oh, it's so delightful, say professor. Yes, sir, gotta do that rhythmatic, 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 rhythmatic.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
There's the limit to the honey from a bee, the leaves upon a tree, the bottom of the sea, but there isn't any limit to my love for you. Well, a bird can fly in the sky just so high no more.
Hodge White, public grocer number 1, says that some professional agitators have been holding demonstrations outside of the store claiming that Hodge is displaying communistic celery. Now, Hodge says he didn't know he was handling communistic propaganda. He's been selling this red celery for years and calling it rhubarb.
New York City, New York. Miss Lillian Rock, speaking at Business Women's Round Table Luncheon Club, says that United States will have a woman vice president by 1940 and eventually a woman president. Town Hall News shows what the White House may be like if we ever do have a woman president. The scene, an executive room in the White House in 1950.
You rang, Madam President?
Yes, Perkins. What is that demonstration on the lawn?
It's the Girl Scouts Convention. They're expecting you to say a few words.
Very well. Open the window, Perkins.
Yes, madam.
Yoo-hoo, girls! Yoo-hoo!
An encore, madam.
No, Perkins. That will have to do them.
The Secretary of the Interior is waiting, madam.
Well, don't dally, Perkins. Show her in.
Jane, darling.
Grace, dear. And what is my new Secretary of the Interior been up to?
You'll never guess. I'm streamlining Washington Monument.
What?
And I'm putting yellow robes on all judges.
But, Grace...
And I'm painting our battleships lavender. Gray is so drab, don't you think?
But, Grace, don't you know your duty?
Well, as Secretary of the Interior, I'm in charge of decorating, aren't I?
No, dear. You just sort of stay inside in the interior, you know.
Well, I must say, if you're trying to bury me socially, I resign.
That cat serves me right for finding her.
Executive Chambers. Very well. I shall tell Madam President.
Who was that, Perkins? The Philippines?
No, the governor of Colorado. He says you must have pressed the wrong button yesterday.
I only pressed one button, Perkins. It opened a bridge at San Francisco or something.
Still, it must have been the wrong button. You've pulled down Boulder Dam.
Confound these buttons. Why can't the White House afford a zipper? I could open everything at once.
The Budget Committee is waiting.
Oh, that old boss. Show him in.
Good morning, Madam President.
Oh, dear. What is it now?
Something has got to be done. There isn't a penny left in the Treasury.
Well, don't look at me. I haven't been near the Treasury for weeks.
The public debt is...
Who is that, Perkins? The Department of Fisheries?
No, a messenger from the intelligence office, madam.
Dispatch for Madam President. Urgent.
Oh, give it here, boy. Good heavens.
Not bad news, madam.
Perkins, call out the Army this instant. Call out the Navy. Tell them to mobilize at the railroad station. I'm off.
Is it war, madam?
No, it's a reception. Clark Gable is arriving on the 10:15.
Thanks for listening to 1936 Part 1, the Soundscapes audio montage series number 3 from When Radio Ruled. I'm Mike Gillett, your host. When Radio Ruled and the Soundscape series are before TV productions. Copyright 2018.